Hermdo back with you with my good friend Mark. As you all know, we are the Detroit Fan Forum duo. Well, the new duo since Hitch decided to give up on it. But we're back and we're talking about all sorts of exciting stuff, all sorts of fascinating things. I believe we broached this topic a little earlier, Mark, but you were talking about basically kind of the state of the NFL and talking about like some of the aspects of the game and whatnot,
Yes.
But I thought that was kind of an interesting thing, bringing it up, just as far as who owns what, the Hunt family owning the Chiefs, the Ford
Hmm.
family owning the Lions, stuff like that. There, just we we talked about it briefly, but I was wondering, as far as NFL ownership goes and the various like dealings and whatnot, and, like the overall kind of the way the game is organized and set up. I wonder if you had any additional thoughts on that to get into, just in
Oh
just
boy,
just
did
as a
I
jumping
ever.
off point. Oh boy,
So I did put the list together. Like you said, we had a conversation about the NFL ownership, and I was listening to one of my podcasts I listened to. I don't remember who it was, but he mentioned the Hunt family, and the Hunt family being one of the more
yeah,
powerful families in the United States, and how we start talking about Howard Hunt from Watergate. We start talking about just this long line of the people with the last name Hunt having a big thing to do with conspiracies and foreign policy and natural resources, right? So I start putting together a list of NFL owners, and I'm like, okay, just give me a list of all the owners so I can see who some of these guys are, right? Kind of like when you figure out that when you first figure out, and you did at one point, figured out that BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street owns everything. And I'm talking the company I work for,
yeah,
the company you work for, everybody. They own everybody and everything, right? So I start doing this, and I'm like, all right, let's go down this owner rabbit hole. And I'm like, okay, first one you have is you talk about oil. I said, how many of them own oil companies? Short answer right now, you got four. You've got Jerry Jones, Cowboys, right? Major owner of Comstock Resources, natural gas. Hunt family, Clark Hunt, Chiefs. Family controls Hunt Oil Company, HL Hunt Legacy. Look that up. That'll just spin you up for about 5 hours. At Amy Adams Strunk Titans. Family holds KSA Industries controlling Adams Resources. She owns Little River Oil and Gas. And then you have Terry Pagula from the Bills, founder of Eastern Resources, still owns oil and gas outfit like JKLM Energy. So um, it just spins me into kind of an interesting situation. And I think to myself, okay, what else outside of oil? You've got four oil owners and a list of 40 some other owners. Where do we start going down the rabbit hole? Because it's just not oil on this one, too, my friend. It's just not oil. But these NFL billionaires, my friend, there's a lot to be said about how much they control.
yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, some of those powerful people in the world, these people, Fortune 500 companies, lots of investments, lots of real estate investments, investments in food companies, investments in real estate, investments in all sort of, private, holdings and whatnot. And, um, it's pretty obvious, the how this is all set up. I mean, I'm just kind of surprised that other like monoliths like BlackRock or what have you aren't involved, in some way. You got Larry Fink owning football teams and now, but um, yeah, it's when you dig into it a little bit, just a little bit of cursory research, and you can really discover like how deep it really goes, and exactly, um, I'm not sure, but it's like, I had some kind of ideas about like the way the NFL is presented, the way like, and you could say this about other leagues and stuff like that. Like me and my dad were watching the Eagles Packers game last night, and how overstimulating it was, and all the different, when it comes to like the NFL drama, you look at the tweets. Like I use that Twitter account every once in a while. I have to limit my time on Twitter pretty severely because I get just it's such a toxic environment, such a
It
toxic
is.
shithole. It
It's
doesn't matter who
heavy.
runs it.
It's
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 very heavy. I
it's
gotta
it's
just
heavy. It's dirty. It's you.
yeah,
It's it's the scene in Ghostbusters 2 when they go down into the sewers and there's that pink slime and they
yeah,
have to be on harnesses because if they get sucked into
yeah,
it, oh, where are your
yeah.
harnesses,
But
boys
it
and
just
girls?
oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's a sludge fest. It's just gross on Twitter, but just like the way like social media and like the entertainment industry and all this celebrity drama, all this gossip, all this bullshit, kind of like converges around these this like industry of sports or sports industry in general. All I guess all major sports have this in a way, but just the way it's like presented to people and this kind of slavish adherence people have to it. And I'm not saying that being a sports fan is bad, but on some levels, people are very obsessive about this game and they're very crazy about it. I mean, people like we're willing to like you see fights break out at these games. Sometimes you see people throwing each other downstairs. I mean, I think some
People have
Raiders
lost their
fans were like
lives
stabbing people.
over games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people
it's
go ape shit, and you see like if your team wins. I mean, just I don't want to sound like some like weird like contrarian douchebag or something. I mean, I love sports. I love watching sports. I root for my teams and everything like that. But it's just like sports culture, just the way it's like presented to us, the way it's like disseminated, the way people engage with it. It's all very. It's like worshiping a statue of Moloch or something. It's really bizarre. People take it such as
it is.
intense degree, and I think that's it's engineered that way by the ownership, and it's engineered that way by like the people at the commissioner and the GMs, and it's all like creating this kind of like toxic miasma. And I can understand like some people just getting kind of checked out on sports, but it's just like sports in and of itself. It's really crazy to think about this kind of stuff. And you think about like maybe some aspects of the game, like me and my dad were talking. He showed me this article yesterday talking about like this guy who was like using AI to like fix his water system in his house, and talking about like we were seeing like AI ads. Progressive had this AI commercial with like all these like anthropomorphic animals and stuff. It was really bizarre, but like how fake that was. And I mean, we were watching the game. My dad was like, "Well, we were watching like what's his name? Oh, the running back for the Philadelphia Eagles get
Saquon Barkley.
tackled. Saquon Barkley, yeah, geez, I just totally blanked on it. But we watching him get tackled and stuff like that, like some linebacker grabbed him or whatever. And my dad's like, "That's real, that's real." Sports is at least real. We had a little discussion about it last night, but you're also thinking like, I mean, is it real? Like how much, how
Well,
many, yeah, what aspects of
tell
sports are actually,
tell your dad to call Arian Foster up. I know they're good buddies. I know he's got a
yeah,
deep history with these guys in the NFL. Tell him to call his buddy Arian Foster up. And Arian Foster, premier running back for the Houston Texans for many
I remember.
years in our era, in our early era of football. He claims
Yes.
that he was given a script every year. And what they do in practice is they practice the script. And you're going to be told how your season ends, what goes on, how things work. Now, even for me, somebody who's gone through some tinfoil rabbit holes on this script stuff, I don't subscribe to the fact that you're literally getting a typed up script and you're reviewing it like it's that. But I will tell you that sports is as real as you want it to be, because it's the sports is
Yeah.
as real as wrestling in the same sense of what they're doing out there is risky and real and it hurts. But now the end result, right? Don't think about the act. Think about the end result. The end result, is that real?
Yeah. But just I think it's real to the fans in a lot of ways. I mean, the same way, like, I don't want to compare it to like wrestling or anything like that with like the kayfabe and whatnot, but it's real enough. Like the experiences you have watching this game are real, like the emotions you experience when your
Yeah.
team wins or they suffer like a gut punch of a loss. That in a sense is real. Like the emotions it stirs up in you, and you feel like the connection to the game. But you ask yourself like, what aspects of the game, is it all just bullshit or whatever? But I did have this one thing I wanted to share regarding your. I found this on Reddit. Can you see my screen?
I sure can,
Hold on.
sir. Oh boy,
You sure
this is
can.
this is exactly what I
Okay.
watched today.
Yeah. Me giving up 200 to Chase was just me following the script. Aaron Foster. But let's see. Let's get into some of these comments here. Todd Gurley reading this script in 2019. Why does it randomly end here? Antonio Brown reading this script.
Randomly,
I saw a comment earlier applauding whoever wrote the heel turn for AB. Oh, yeah.
he's wanted
Aaron
for murder
Hernandez
right
reading
now.
the script. Yeah, it just kind of goes on and on talking about this kind of
Well,
stuff. But,
dude, you could take a
I
look
mean,
at Antonio
I had
Brown
to,
right there and say they MK ultra'd him. He's on the Kanye snap. I mean, you could say that,
yeah,
or you could just say that he was kind of always nuts, and that's why he was not drafted, but recruited to Central Michigan, and got his way out of CMU. And I don't really think he always had everything dead set perfectly, but
yeah. This one right here. Tom Brady's father used to be a head scriptwriter for anyone interested.
he did just
Here's my
clone his
least
dog.
favorite, but it's also the best one. Yeah. Inflategate or Deflategate, whatever that was called. And let me share this. Oh, the page doesn't exist. It's long been. Yeah, this was posted a few years ago. Lots of this stuff
Thanks
gets
a lot,
deleted after a while,
CIA.
but yeah, son of a gun. This right here. Let's see if this works.
Do you subscribe to the fact that LeBron will have to owe back his sacrifice for his years of success?
He may very well. He may very well. I mean, it's just like the
They
whole.
say LeBron's heart attack or heart injury was just a warning. So, I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, let's. I don't know if I've really heard about that, but
That's the
let me
bootleg,
do
baby.
some LeBron.
You look up some LeBron Boulay stuff, your head will explode.
Yeah, LeBron scripted NBA.
Talk about someone
Let's
who's
see what this
really,
stuff has to do.
if you want to have that argument about the three GOATs, LeBron, Kobe, and Jordan, the way LeBron
Yeah.
is phasing out of this NBA is making it easier to go. It's Jordan, and then it's Kobe, and then it's LeBron. Like he's kind of not doing himself any favor the way he's going out, right? So
Yeah.
Michael gambling.
No,
Michael Jordan a gambling degenerate. Yes, but
Yep.
he had competitive spirit. Was Kobe Bryant on his way to start his own NBA league, and then they had him eliminated? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James, I don't see where you're headed after this. I feel like it's down. It's downhill. It's just they're gonna have to make you do something for all that money you made.
Yeah, he's got to pay his dues eventually. I mean, I got some AI scripted answers here talking about like LeBron's personality being fake or a fake public image. Some individuals like Russell Westbrook and Stephen A. Smith have accused LeBron of being fake, citing instances where they believe his public persona is inauthentic.
I'd imagine
Fake
that's
out
true.
announcements. James also sparked controversy by making seemingly major career announcements. The later turned out to be
Diddy
marketing
parties.
stunts. Yeah, the Diddy parties, all that kind of stuff. I don't know how deep I want to get into that kind of shit, but but yeah, I mean,
Depends if you're on a VPN or not.
yeah, it all depends. Like the draft lottery, LeBron James is publicly amused with the possibility of the NBA draft lottery being rigged, citing instances of Cleveland getting the topic in 2003, a situation that was particularly notable since he was from Ohio. While this is a recurring conspiracy theory in sports, there's no concrete proof the NBA has ever been rigged. No concrete proof.
There is.
I don't believe you guys.
Look up Tim
yeah,
Donnelly, the NBA.
Tim Donnelly?
Yeah, the NBA referee who went to prison for gambling on basketball, but basically admits, and all the guys, there it is.
Donahue.
Yeah, Donahue. Sorry. Well, the story will tell itself, but great
Yeah.
guy. You should watch some of his interviews. He comes out just flat out and tells everything, and you're just like, huh, okay, that makes sense. And he talks about a time where
Yes.
the league was really pissed at Allen Iverson, right? He was just running his mouth, being
Yeah.
stupid. So they called down to his crew and said, "Hey, I know you guys are reffing the game tonight. Everybody knows that when Allen Iverson dribbles, and a lot of the guys did, they would kind of do like a carry motion with their dribble." And he
Yeah.
said that they never call that shit in the pros, but he said they could call that stuff. And they called down from the league and said, hey, you're going to call that every time.
Okay. Okay.
Every
Let's
time
get into this
tonight on him.
Donahue thing for a second. Yeah, every time tonight on him. So okay, so there's a little bit of junk happening, a little bit of a conspiracy, a little bit
Yep.
of perhaps controversy happening with Allen Iverson AI. But let's get into this. Just read this quick blurb here. Tim Donahue, a former NBA referee, gained notoriety after it was revealed he was involved in a betting scandal that compromised the integrity of the league. During his 13-season career, Donahue officiated numerous games, was considered a respected member of the officiating community. However, he developed a gambling addiction that led him to provide insider information to gamblers affecting the outcomes of the NBA games he officiated. In 2007, the FBI began investigating Donahue for his activities, culminating in his resignation and subsequently guilty plea to felony charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and transmitting wagering information. Oh, Lord. Oh, this is like a whole summary thing, man. Oh, man.
I wrote
This
a whole
thing
book
is
about it. There's a whole Netflix thing on
getting
it.
into it.
And I'm telling you, once
Yeah.
you get down to the nitty gritty, he's going to say, listen, we called the games the way the league wanted us to call the games, right? And we did what we were told to do.
Yeah.
And that he
Yeah, put it on
basically
somebody
just-
else.
He was basically he's your Oswald, he's your Patsy, right? Is he
Yeah.
compliant into the situation? Was Oswald compliant into the whole plot to kill Kennedy? Yes. Was he the trigger
Yeah.
man? Did he actually shoot him? No. He just fired a shot. It hit a fucking curb. That's about it. But you had the S-Force that killed Kennedy. This, and my friend, is Oswald in the NBA. The only difference is David
Oswald.
Stern did a really good job at burying him, putting this guy in jail, and keeping him out of the media until now.
Yeah.
Stern's
Let's
dead
get
now.
well, one. Yeah. Did Donahue pass away?
No, Donnie's
Oh.
alive, but David Stern, the old commissioner, I believe, has passed away.
Oh, has he? Okay.
I think so. Maybe that's
Okay.
just something I made up. I
don't know.
unfortunately convinced Hitch that Alan Alda was dead, and he wasn't. So I may have killed David
He's like in his
Stern.
90s though, but
He is.
that's
but
funny.
I really I'm telling you, when I said that he's dead, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, so yeah, David Stern is officially dead. I didn't kill him. I told Hitch,
Oh,
I'm
is he?
like, no,
Okay.
dude, he's dead. And he's like, no, what the fuck? You just ruined my day. I'm like-
Yeah.
and I almost accused him of being
Yeah.
like not with it. I'm like, oh, you're not with the times.
Let's get one more blurb about Donahue here. Donahue began placing bets on NBA games with a friend in mid-December 2006. James Batista, a professional gambler with the nicknames Baba and Sheep, confronted Donahue about betting on NBA games and suggested that Donahue be paid for his correct pick. Donahue began calling Thomas Martino, who had then called Batista to give him inside information, including what crew would officiate a particular game and how officials and players interacted. Cell phone records indicate hundreds of calls among Donahue, Batista, and Martino between October 1st, 2006 and May 1st, 2007. This shit goes fucking deep, man. This is some wild stuff, man
It's like
alive.
2 hours on Netflix, and it'll just get you in the mindset to understand that this shit is scripted, and it's in an era where all the guys that you're looking at the early 2000s, that was a relevant era for you and I to reference sports, right?
Yeah,
Were we
absolutely.
betting on these games? No, but but I'm telling you right now that these games can be called any way they want to call it. We've seen a travel in the NBA and what that looks like, but we've also seen games, and we've seen it in football too, Tom. Have we not?
Yeah.
Sorry, Hermdo. Where we've seen it,
It's
where
okay.
Jared Goff gets absolutely dismantled after he throws a ball, and Patrick Mahomes gets touched after he throws the ball, and it's a flag. So we know they can
Yeah.
call it when it's dealer's choice. We know it's dealer's choice.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially like in games. I mean, I remember there's a lot of controversy surrounding the Lions' loss to the Chiefs recently. We discussed that quite a bit, but
Yeah, that
just
was a
like
dealer's
how
choice game too.
that was the dealer's choice where
was
we
a
got a
call
bunch of
down
bad
and-
penalties called on us. Yeah,
and they made
it was
sure
like
that
totally.
we got screwed by that, and that's why I think
Yeah, we
we're
got
gonna
fucked
get a
over,
makeup.
and
We're gonna
Yeah,
get a makeup
they
with
were
the
missing
Philly
calls
game.
left and right. Yeah, it was. Yeah, just clear bullshit. But let's get into this a little bit more on Donahue here. But let's see what he has to say about
Because I
this.
had my interactions.
This is
with-
like brand new. This is posted just 11 days ago.
Oh,
Didn't get too
nice.
many views, but
I
The
wonder
NBA
why.
early because of my holdout. I mean, my holdout with the Mavericks was the longest ever as a rookie because the Mavericks didn't want to pay my contract. And I always thought it was an issue with the NBA because it kind of put a stain on the NBA at the time that this rookie held out, and we were going to do a collusion lawsuit against the NBA because David Stern, we had caught wind that he had told the owners, you can't pay these rookies these kind of contracts. And that's
thinking about like the rookie contract deals too, like the
Yeah.
way that shit goes, like people coming into the league for the first time after the draft,
Well,
and
and
how
you're just
crooked all that shit is, and the kind of yeah,
you're skewing the cap. You're skewing you're skewing everything. And when the owner can go in and tell, or I'm sorry, when the commissioner can go in and tell the owners what to do, is he not going to go
Yeah.
tell the referees what to do? You can't
Exactly,
do this.
exactly. I
You
mean,
can't
is that
do
like-
that. You want jobs? Then
yeah.
no.
It's not much of a leap, considering the way it's structured and the way these salaries work and these contracts, and the buyouts and the no trades and whatnot. The way it's all. It's
So
all
what's the
set
point
up,
of having
I
a
mean,
players' union and a collective bargaining agreement and a lottery that they're supposedly not rigging, but Wembyama goes
lottery.
to the Spurs, Cooper Flag goes to the Mavericks. There was a lottery back, and I think what was it? The LeBron goes to Cleveland, Patrick Ewing goes to New York. I mean, it's just like, come on, dude. I'm not saying they do it every year, but when they want to do it with a special player, they're going to do it.
Yeah. These are generational guys, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the funniest thing, Luka Doncic gets traded, and they get Cooper Flag the very next draft, like the highest rated, like
course.
one of the highest rated players, like the clear consensus number one pick. Of course, it goes to them, and then
that's the
Nico
reward.
Collins. Yeah, Nico Collins is actually getting. I think didn't he just get fired, or there are like rumors about him getting fired?
He's fired.
Yeah, he is fired. He is fired after
Yep.
that. After that happened, less than a year since that trade, he is gone now. But it's kind of funny how that shit just like facilitates itself somehow. But
Well, and you
it's-
look at it, statistically, the Pistons should have had the first pick the year that San Antonio got Wembyana. But it was like, if
Yeah.
you were going to look at a team that was so awful and so bad that I don't care what, they should have had that first pick. And then it's like, nope, San Antonio gets it. It's like, oh, interesting. Another, David Robertson. Okay, yeah, they didn't have another big man. It's just like, this just works. Put another,
Yeah.
another Tim Duncan and David Robinson, but bigger in San Antonio again, because that's the formula, right? Now the
Yeah.
caveat being, if they scripted, how come they never rewarded the Chicago Bulls with another thing? Michael Jordan is against the script. Michael Jordan was so phenomenal.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The Chicago
That was like an
Bulls weren't-
aberration. You feel?
I feel like he wasn't supposed to be that dominant, but once they knew they had him and he was that dominant, it was whatever they could do. But I'm telling you,
Yeah.
the Chicago Bulls will never be like a big time relevant team. Like, you just can't live up to that. There's just never ever gonna beat
Yeah.
that team.
They thought, I'm thinking like back in the early Derrick Rose era, how special he seemed to be, and just the kind of way his career just kind of
They
faltered.
tried.
It's kind of a shame. Yeah. But it just didn't happen. It's just the Bulls just can't have nice things.
No, they
And
can't
some
have
days
nice
I wonder if it's the same way with the Pistons too. I feel Pistons are just they've won championships before. They've had some great players on the team. They've had a proud history. They've been at times they've been like world beaters in the league. But it's one of those things. I mean, us getting Cade, that almost seemed like an aberration into itself. I mean, if we're keeping on that topic, but I remember just the mood was just perfect. Everything leading up to us getting Cade, just like the vibes were just good. The whole fade for Cade thing, Ben Wally just getting the pick, and if Cade going to Tigers games, people chanting, "We want Cade," him pulling the buffs at the draft, it was just like one of those things. Just like he fit so perfectly into Detroit, it was almost like a gift. And now the Pistons are like the hottest team in the NBA. It's kind of crazy to think about, like just where the Pistons have come from. But it just seemed like for so long after the going to work era just kind of faded, and Joe Dumars just kind of left with his tail between his legs. It just seemed like there's like 15 years of being totally irrelevant. I know we had what's his name, Blake Griffin for a little while, but he was a shadow of his former self. I always gave us some effort here and there, but it just seemed like but it seems things are working out in the Pistons' favor. You wonder how all this stuff works. But I mean, if we had gotten Wembanyama too, I don't know how that would have been insane, absolutely insane. But I guess you can only get so lucky.
They weren't going to put him here, and this just gives it proof, right? So we get Cade in 2021 with the first pick. Now, prior to Cade coming here, right, and that had to be some type of gift because we never get the first round. We never get the first pick, dude. The last time we had the first pick was in 1970, and we took Bob Lanier, right? Bob Lanier and Hitch go get breakfast together once a week. That's how old Bob Lanier is, right? It's just it's been so long since the Pistons have had that because, dude, the 80s, that team was perfectly assembled, right? That Bad Boys team, they had Isaiah Thomas, but outside of that team was just put together by Chuck Daly, one of the best basketball coaches in the NBA history. Then you have the Going to Work team, like you said. That was not a drafted team. That was a put-together team by Joe Dumars, who was uncuffed at that time with an owner who wanted to win, not an owner who was dead and the family said we're selling. I think Joe could have done a lot of things building off of that Going to Work team if they would have kept funding him and believing in that team. From a rebuild, getting Cade, getting that first pick, knowing we're never going to get another first pick, even though we were so bad that last season, we should have got Wembanyama.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Let's face it, dude, the NBA draft is not what it used to be. You're lucky if 3 players come out of a fucking draft and they're relevant.
Let's just see. Let's Google. Say tip him. Yep. Something. I can't stand the ads, man. It's worth it.
Fair enough. Because that's what happens when you're a celebrity. You can afford things like that.
Come on. Yeah. Oh, dude.
Where did Hermdo go? Bring back Hermdo. It's just me live on the stream now. Where'd you go? It's okay. His internet may have fallen off. He'll be coming back on. This has actually happened before, where I went haywire. My whole screen went white, and everything just disappeared. So I'm assuming Hermdo will be back soon. If not, we'll just have to keep using this picture up here in the top. What is that? Top right corner. There he is. Back.
Yeah. Here I am. Sorry about that. My internet's shit. You got to forgive me, but
no, it's okay.
That was so irritating. Yeah.
I was just gonna say that happened to me. What, last time we did this?
I think so. Yeah. Let's get into this a little bit. Since we're on the topic, let me share my screen right here. Let's get into this article. Hold on one second.
Just hit your social security number flashed across the screen.
Yeah. Hold on. Come on, give me the. Oh, for God's sake. Okay. Has looked completely ridiculous. Mavericks and probable in the draft lottery. Just a 1% chance. Has reignited conspiracy theories a lot being rigged. There have 8 examples throughout history where it just might be. New York Knicks win the Patrick Ewing sweepstakes. Or Ewing sweepstakes. I believe you brought this up earlier. Mm-hmm. I find that to be extremely interesting. In the inaugural NBA draft lottery, the New York Knicks secured the number 1 pick, allowing them to draft Georgetown's Patrick Ewing. The Knicks had a 14.29% chance, 1 in 7, of winning the top pick. So not too crazy. The selection process involves envelopes being drawn from the drum, and conspiracy theories emerged, suggesting the Knicks envelope was tampered with, either frozen or been or open. I'm assuming to ensure they landed Ewig. Too good to be true. Probably the Knicks, being one of the league's premier franchises, landing generational talent in the first ever lottery, fueled suspicions about the integrity of the process. To this day, the 1985 lottery remains one of the most debated moments in NBA history and kicks off the list of suspicious examples. Now here we go. The 2003 NBA draft. Lots of speculation around that. The Cleveland Cavaliers won the 2003 lottery, granting them the right to draft hometown hero LeBron James, despite finishing with the league's worst record. The Cavaliers had a 22.5 chance at the top pick. This outcome allowed the NBA to place its most anticipated prospect in years in his home state, boosting both the franchise and league popularity almost instantly. It is a fairy tale like that arguably the NBA's most struggling franchise could draw their savior, the chosen one, in his hometown. That can't be scripted any better, if it is at all. I mean, you could say, early LeBron years, he got, what was the year? He got to the finals once on the Cavs before the whole decision shit. That was 2007, I want to say, and he lost to the Spurs, I think. But, so the storyline was just a big, but the better part of a decade, he was like the premier player on the Cavaliers. But, we talk about, wasn't Shaq on the Cavaliers for a while too? I mean,
Yeah.
my basketball history is a little bit rusty. I remember him being on the Cavaliers, trying to give him a boost. Like, I don't know if that was probably after he spent his time with the Heat, but
Yeah, a lot of people were on the Cavs at that point. Then you got to remember too.
Yeah.
LeBron goes to Miami, and then they get rewarded with again a first-round pick. They get Kyrie Irving, and then LeBron goes back to Cleveland, and you've got LeBron, you've got Kyrie, you've got
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love, and the Kevin Love thing was a big piece. That was like the Rasheed Wallace piece. That's that Kevin Love.
Yeah.
I like watching him.
And then they had that really and then they beat the Golden State Warriors that year. They were like down 3-1. They came back, beat the Warriors. The Warriors were like the most winning. They won like 70 games that year. It was some insane, like really romantic storyline. Just the kind of shit. It's almost like too good to be true. Just like,
It's like when the
hometown
Patriots-
hero returns.
Had a perfect season and then lost in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. You almost got to wonder. It's just like it's just like it all lined up so perfectly well for the Cavaliers, But it's just one of those things. Oh yeah, this right here. We talked about Derrick Rose briefly in the Bulls. 2008 NBA draft. Chicago Bulls jumped to number 1 to draft Derrick Rose. The Chicago Bulls just a 1.7 chance leap from the 9th position to win the 2008 lottery. So an unexpected victory allowed them to select Chicago native Derrick Rose, a move that rejuvenated the franchise. The odds-defying outcome raised questions about the randomness of the lottery. Rose's selection brought immediate success, culminating in an MVP award in 2011. This is too good to be true because the Bulls were desperate to find a replacement for Michael Jordan, the greatest player in franchise history, and to have ever played. The fact that Rose fell into their laps is a bit suspicious. Even LeBron James believes this. Again, too good to be true. Dun, dun, dun. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting. Really illuminating kind of stuff here, talking about this kind of stuff, like digging into it a little bit. You just got to wonder. Like, if there's ever going to be like a generational talent coming out of Detroit, like coming out of UDM Mercy or something like that, and he's going to be like the next big thing. Like, will he land in Detroit? Will that be like the fun little storyline surrounding that? I mean, not that the Pistons are really there, but I mean, they seem to really be picking up steam though. But it's just one of those things, And the Pistons turnaround, that's pretty crazy to consider. How far they've come in the last couple seasons under JB Bickerstaff and
and look what they did. They threw all that money at Monty Williams, and this is what
oh my
GM
God.
does, and then they go, nope, get out of here. Nope.
Monty Williams.
Leave.
Man.
And it's the same thing that you see when Dan Campbell goes, my team's struggling. Nope, give me the play calling back, right? It's like when someone wants to win in an organization that has the ability to do that, those are the moves you make. And dude, JB Bickerstaff, for watching it last night, he gets a tech just for standing up for one of his guys, right? And it's like when you find the right fit, the right coach, the right general manager, the right combination who has the blueprint, and they're all on the same page, right? And they want to do the same 3 things together. If you are a general manager and you are a coach and you have 3 things in common, right?
Yeah,
you're gonna win. You're gonna succeed, and that's why We see it with the Detroit Lions. We're seeing it with the Pistons right now, which is like,
Yep.
holy shit, I did not expect him to be this good on defense.
Yeah, yeah.
And in the Jalen Duren pick is just looking amazing, right? And now just give me Jaden Ivey. Please just bring me a healthy Jaden Ivey back, because adding him to this core, Malik Beasley, I know the FBI. You got bigger fish to fry. Clear this mofo. Let him come back and shoot threes.
I know. I mean,
FBI, I know
Pistons
you're watching. Let him do it.
yeah, I know. Pistons were shorthanded. They still beat. I mean, the Wizards are hot garbage this year, but that was a hell of a game last night.
They had an undrafted two-way guard.
Yeah.
Shoot over 20, hit the buzzer beater three to send it in overtime.
Yep.
Play amazing defense. So it's
Incredible.
just like you're seeing the Lions where they have guys that are coming out undrafted going, yeah, just give me a spot to shine. So,
Yeah, just like Kelvin Shepard was trying to find a spot for you on this defense. Just come on, practice squad guys, come on down. We'll be blitzing fucking Baker Mayfield all day or whatever. But
Yep.
it's just one of those things, you know. I mean, it's almost like, you know, I mean, still, but it's just like the romantic aspect of the game. You know, it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting, you know, sort of phenomenon, if you want to call it that, or what have you. But
Well,
you know,
here's the way you can look at it. And it's a lot easier for me. I started looking at sports about 2 years ago in a different lens, thinking to myself, okay, if I look at this, right, as I know this shit is like wrestling, right? I knew wrestling was fake, right? Even in the Attitude Era, some of the best times. I knew it was scripted and there was kayfabe and all that, and it was structured like that. If I look at it from the same angle, same lens as I did as 90s wrestling, it's just as fun for me. But even better because you're able to kind of call these storylines out, right? And then people are like, oh my God, how did you figure that out? And it's like, no, that's the storyline. That's the storyline you write. It's not $1 billion organization on accident, right? So
yeah, exactly. That I you know, people looking back, I remember, like, I mean, me being a big hockey fan, obviously the Red Wings teams in the 90s were very special to me as like a young, like 11, 12-year-old watching those teams. But after the 97 victory and after what happened to Vladimir Konstantinov, and then that team going back, sewing that Believe patch on their jerseys, winning it all, sweeping the Capitals, keeping the Stanley Cup in Detroit for another year. That's the storyline, man. That was nuts. That kind of stuff, that was absolutely insane. I remember watching that at my uncle's house, watching them win. They beat, and they had some good guys on that Capitals team. They had Phil Housley on there. They had, was Peter Bondra on that team? I don't remember. They had
I'll argue with you,
Olaf
Hermdo,
Kolzig.
that I truly think that the NHL is the only one that isn't able to, you're not able to like dabble with. I truly think that is a league ran by athletes, tradition, and it's hurt them with their relationship with ESPN and their relationship with revenue sharing compared to the other sports. You're not seeing a guy in hockey sign a 6-year, $500 million contract. You're seeing that in every other sport, though. There's max deals in the NBA going out like crazy. There's $45 million pass rushers in the NFL, right? There's $50 million outfielders or $60 million pitchers in the Major League Baseball. But what is the highest paid player in NHL? Like, if you say this guy's the highest paid player, what's he make per season?
I think like Kirill Kaprizov of the Minnesota Wild, he was threatening to go back to the KHL. He's a Russian, and they paid him something. What is the Kirill Kaprizov?
Yeah, let me know. Educate me a little bit on this, because I'd like to know, because you and I, we can have the conversation when they locked up Aiden Hutchinson, and they're like, oh, $45 million. We're like, that's a steal.
The Kaprizov deal, he's a premier talent in the league. He signed an 8-year, $136 million contract, annual average value $17 million. There are like mid-tier pitchers in the MLB probably make more than that, you know.
Kirby Joseph probably makes more than that.
Probably does, yeah. But Kaprizov is a guy, he's like really dynamic, next,
so where does the
you know,
where does it fall off after him? Is that like is it so we know the average deal for a quarterback per year is like 45 to 50 million, right? Which is crazy.
yeah,
And that's kind of the average number for premier in football.
yeah, you can get guys. I mean, look at some guys like I'll look at the Red Wings. More familiar with the Red Wings contract situation, obviously, but you got guys like Lucas Raymond. You got guys like Moritz Seider who just signed their big boy deals. They're their first kind of their first deals after their rookie contracts expired, and they're making around 8 million AAV, and that's a bargain considering the kind of player those guys are. Lucas Raymond, dynamic left winger, get you a point a game when he's hot. You know, Moritz Seider, dynamic young defenseman. You put him on the top pairing. You put him out there. He's your worker. So he's going to be playing 20 to 25 minutes a night. One of those guys. Those guys don't grow on trees, obviously.
He's your Cade Cunningham.
You know, they're both highly touted draft picks. What's that?
He's like your Cade Cunningham for the Pistons. He's
Basically the guy you're going to
he don't want to see him.
He's going to be like your power play quarterback. He's going to be there. Yeah, he's going to be the guy. But you know, it's just you know, Kirill Kaprizov. I mean, the amount of money this guy's freaking making, but you know, look at his production. You know, it's he had 108 points in 2021, 2022, and he's kind of kept like in 56. Like last season, in 41 games played, he had 56 points. In 2024, in 75 games played, he had 96 points. So he's just one of those guys that has that crazy like point per game differential, and he adds a lot. But just like guys like that, he's getting top money. Like Austin Matthews, I think his cap hit is like 16 million, and he's a guy that's going to get you like 60 goals a year. But you know, the Maple Leafs are kind of struggling right now. I think they're like second or third from the bottom of their division. So I mean, they did lose Mitch Marner, but you know, a lot of guys. You know, Minnesota Wild's really. I'm not sure what. You know, let me take a look at the standings. I know we're getting a little inside here, but.
We get inside the paint all day, inside the stuff.
Yeah.
As we used to say in the NBA.
You know, I mean, Minnesota was just. I remember the Minnesota deal where they got.
Remember Zach Suter and Ryan Parise?
It was Ryan Suter and Zach Parise, and that deal, and they both picked Minnesota over Detroit, and that was a real kick in the balls here. But
13 years, $98 million.
Yeah, it was insane. Two like 9-figure deals for these guys, and Minnesota has just kind of been like a nothing franchise. I mean, they had guys like Marian Gaborik. They went on some nice runs here and there, but they've never been to the finals. They never won a cup. You know, it's just kind of one of those things. But,
well, they seem to love giving out massive contracts and doing nothing with these guys. And then
yes, they do. Yes, they do.
14 years, 110 million. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, that was
stretches out to nothing.
That's
so
some
Kaprizov
insane stuff
makes
there.
17 million. Leon.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to say his last name.
Kaprizov.
No, this guy's from Edmonton. This is not Kaprizov.
Oh.
Drasanti.
What's his name?
8 years, 112. He's making 14. Jack Eichel from the Golden Knights, 13.5. Austin Matthews, 13.5. Nathan McKinnon, 12.5 million. Connor McDavid, 12.5.
That's it for Nathan McKinnon?
That's it. 12.6. That's what he's making per year. So, like, these contracts, man, when I look at the top guys, this is where I say the Illuminati really hasn't touched the NHL.
Yeah.
You're looking
it really
at the
hasn't.
top guys, and these guys, dude, these are legacy contracts that you have to sign if you even want to go above $10 million in the NFL or NHL for a year. I can
absolutely.
go out as a wide receiver in the NFL and sign a 1-year, $12 million deal and get more money, right, guaranteed, and do that every year. Or I could be a pitcher and sign a 1-year, $15 million deal, and I'm the second highest paid guy in the NHL. So I don't know, man. It's just the revenue share seems so strange.
It is kind of crazy just when you think about it. I mean, the amount of talent. I mean, the NHL just doesn't have the revenue, obviously, of other like bigger leagues and stuff like that. But I mean, look, here we got like Connor McDavid. He just signed a 2-year contract extension. There were some rumors of him going elsewhere, maybe to Toronto, maybe somewhere else. But he's making like 12.5 a year. So I mean, the numbers are going to go up slightly, but we're still talking about. I mean, compared to what some guys are getting paid, I mean, like, it's really, I mean, across like other leagues and whatnot. But I mean, hockey at least seems somewhat more organic, and it seems more
Mm-hmm. That's a good word
grounded,
for
I
it.
guess, if you want to call it that. But it seems like it's more not. It's not so much. It's not a guy like Connor McDavid or a guy like Austin Matthews or a guy like Nathan McKinnon. Obviously they're not like household names. You're not going to hear them in the same with like a Freddie Freeman or like a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. or like what's that dickhead's name, Mr. Free Throw, Steven what's his nuts on the Warriors, and
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry, Christ Almighty.
That was the most.
But
you're
not going to
you've
hear.
ever said.
I know, Jesus criminy, I'm bad with this stuff. But yeah, I'm so unprepared. Forgive me. But it just it's just interesting, to see the kind of like the dynamics between like the NHL and like other leagues and what have you, and just like how sometimes you just feel kind of burnt out from it all. And the NHL is still subject. I mean, they probably get locked out. I remember the '05 lockout, the '04, '05. The whole season was done when they instituted the salary cap as kind of the official.
That
Yeah,
happened with
they
baseball.
did it in
Look what that did with
'95.
them, dude.
Yeah, they did it in '95. That was a lockout shortened year. Or was that a strike? No, it was a lockout shortened year. I remember that year that was short. '05 was totally gone. 2013 they did it again. So that's like in the span of about 18 years. That's three lockouts. It's three pretty major lockouts. So I mean, it does happen in the NHL a little bit. See like the Rabbit expansion as well, and how sustainable is that? Is is the Utah Mammoth or the Seattle Kraken? I mean, those teams, despite some of their success here and there, they're still so new. I mean, I guess we'll just have to see how it all works out in the end. But there's my dad walking in the background. But
Well, I'll tell you what.
yeah,
You look
it's
at some of these new teams, man, and they're a lot of these new owners for these new teams or new owners of old teams. They're equity groups. They're private equity groups. They are your
Yeah.
Vanguard, your Black Rock, your State Street, all that bullshit. They're not families anymore that are passing it down with their legacy reptilian blood. So it's interesting to see on some of these teams where it's like, okay, how much does the collaborative group of the investment owners have a mutual interest of winning a certain way versus a family way of winning? The Illiches versus like a mega owner, like the Dodgers,
Yeah.
right? Their collective group says we just will literally commit endless gobs of money to winning every year, and that's what they want to do. Some of these guys, man, they're just in it to own a team. They're in it to sell jerseys.
Yeah.
They're not in it to win it in that sense, or winning it in their eyes is defined differently in the pocketbooks. Like all the years that the Lions sucked, that the season was sold out. It's like Mike Valeni would always say, "Hey, stop going to the game. Stop rewarding them for a shitty product.
Yeah.
Stop rewarding these owners. Don't do it. If the product sucks, tell them. Just boycott the mofos, right? You'll never
Yeah.
see that with the Detroit Red Wings. It doesn't make a difference. You said it. Wings fans are nut jobs. You'll never see that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they
will you
have had
see
a
that
I
with
mean,
the Krakens or the Mammoth is what I'm trying to get at,
Yeah.
right? So when the Utah
mean-
Mammoth are owned by the Smith Entertainment Group, enterprise and software tech company, are they concerned with hockey or are they concerned with a brand?
Yeah, it's the branding. It's all like very corporate. It's like the corporate structure versus like more traditional structure and stuff like that. It's all very like a team. Like I mean, I guess I was reading this thing yesterday, and apparently like I guess the MLB lost almost $2 billion last year, and the biggest loser among all 32 teams, $1.8 billion was lost, and the biggest loser last season was the New York Mets. That $300 million behemoth that never really came to anything. They got Juan Soto, they got all these
Woody
pitchers,
Nichols, dude. If
and
I
it
look
just
at that,
yeah, I
they still
know
made money,
it's
but
pretty
I
pathetic.
know what
but
you mean from on a
They
balance
lost a ton of
sheet,
money.
from how much revenue they put or how much money they put out in on their stat
Yeah.
sheet for the roster, and then how much
They didn't even make the
winning,
playoffs, yeah.
and all that crap. Yeah, you're right. But
yeah, but just go ahead.
No, it's interesting to me though, that these private equity companies like BlackRock and these guys haven't made it into these mega sports, because I just looked it up.
Yeah, like I said
and
earlier. Yeah.
and they're a little bit into soccer. They're just a little bit into soccer. So it's going to be really
Yeah,
interesting
Saudis
to
own a lot of
see.
teams.
Well,
Yeah.
BlackRock has a 0.5% institutional holding interest in Juventus soccer, and that's about it. And 8% of Manchester United, with the Glazers. But so it's kind of interesting to see how far they can break into this.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I mean, just like I don't know what that. I mean, the future of like, I mean, everything gets corporatized. Like, look at a team like, I mean, look at a team like the Dodgers. I mean, it's just like, what's like, what does it inspire you to see a team like this, a 350 million, $400 million team, stacked with, Hall of Fame players? It's an incredible team. I mean, you look at some of the like the organically built teams of like the NHL or like the NFL or whatnot. Some of the teams, I mean, it just feels like you're not really buying a team in that sense. It doesn't exist in baseball. It's kind of a different thing. No salary cap. You can spend as much money as you want. But I mean, even
Yeah,
like a
and how's
team
that
like the
paying
Blue
off?
Jays, yeah, you're probably going to get another. I mean, I said it before. It's probably going to wind up in another lockout or something to get this salary cap thing figured out. 'Cause, I mean, you're going to have teams paying like $150 million in luxury tax or some obscene amount of money like that. But there's just the haves and the have-nots. But you look at a team like the Toronto Blue Jays. They drafted pretty much all their talent. I mean, that's still a $250 million baseball team, a top five payroll baseball team.
I'll
But
give you that. They
if
did
it feels,
Bo Bichette,
yeah,
Vlad Guerrero, but they drafted
yep.
legacy players. So do something
Yeah,
with
they,
it,
they
right?
did, but that feels a lot more organic than like a
100%.
team like the Dodgers in a way. I know the Dodgers have a good farm system too, probably one of the best in the league, but like still like they're bolstered by guys, like Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, guys who have established, Freddie Freeman established himself with the Braves. Mookie Betts established himself with the Red Sox. And all these like Japanese guys they keep buying. Like Roki Sasaki or what's his name, and all that. The Yoshinobu or however you pronounce his name. But yeah, it just feels very like it's just like it's corporate. It's just like a behemoth. I mean, the L.A. Dodgers are just like the BlackRock of the MLB.
That's
It's just this
exactly what
800
they are.
pound gorilla standing at the top. Everybody else is just like scrape. You have other good teams. Like you'll have teams like the Astros. You'll have teams like the Blue Jays. You'll have teams like the Yankees are another team like that. I consider them to be. Granted, they haven't had success in the last decade and a half, but I mean, they still have homegrown talent. They still got guys like Aaron Judge here. He was drafted by them. He was part of that baby bomber squad that got cheated out of the ALCS and by the Astros or whatever that was. But I mean, but even like the Yankees, I mean, all the other good teams in the MLB. I mean, look at a team like the Tigers, like 18th highest payroll. Everybody was drafted by the Tigers. Look at a team like that. I mean, say what you will about the Tigers and their struggles and the frustration from the Tigers we've experienced at points this season, but it feels like so much more organic. It feels like going to a farmer's market. When you watch the Tigers and for the Dodgers, it just feels like you're going to like one of those Amazon automated stores or something where it's just
No, you're
it's
right.
just it's just
You're
like
right.
it's like a Costco with like AI cashiers or something. I mean,
It's
it
not
just
real.
feels so gross to me.
The Dodgers just is.
It's not real.
It's okay. Here's what it is. All of us have done this. You're a kid. You get a sports game. You build your mega team on the sports game. You just dominate everybody. You win every stat. You just smile. You win it all, and then you go, all right, now I
Yeah.
got to really play this game the right way. That's the way the Dodgers are every time. It's 12 billionaires going, we're going to reset fantasy Madden mode right now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's fantasy draft mode every time with these guys because not
they-
only, and it doesn't hurt that they're in Los Angeles, but the Dodgers are the cooler team than the Angels are. And they always have been and they always
Yeah.
will be. So you've got the Yankees in the East, you've got the Dodgers in the West, and everybody else fucking buckle up.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Look
how
at the
disgusting was that
Pirates.
World's? Oh yeah,
Ugh.
the Pirates too. I mean, Paul Skeens is that team, but
Poor guy. They're
I
gonna
mean, like,
trade
and
him,
you
and
got
Paul Skeens will be a Dodger or a Yankee, or
yeah,
I mean, Garrett Cole was a Pirate, and then he was a Yankee.
hmm
Some of these teams are just like in league farm systems for the
yeah.
other
We're
teams.
gonna get Tarek Skubal to the Yankees. We're gonna get Paul Skeens to the Dodgers, and then
Yep.
we're gonna have another World Series with those two.
I think you're going to
It's
get Tarek Skubal to the Dodgers, and you're going to get Paul Skeens to the Yankees. I don't know. That's why I just think that. But either
oh,
way, you're
I
right.
don't know.
It's us being
Yeah,
silly saying, listen, you're just going to get those two guys on those two teams, and you're going to go look at the Tigers that year when he's pitching in a World Series, and you're going to say, oh, that was a fun season of getting beat up on in the ALCS.
ugh,
And the Pirates are gonna go, oh man, but yeah, the farm system we have is we got the neck. You think Paul Skeens was good? Wait till you see this guy, right? And then Andrew
yeah.
McCutcheon at 78 years old will be playing there again. So, um, yeah, to me,
Oh look,
it's just that's just how it's gonna be, dude. The Pirates will never be relevant. And not even I don't wanna say this, they won't be, but like there was an NBA player that I was listening to on a podcast, and he basically said, listen. I told these guys when they come here, they're coming for two things: M&M, money and memories. And at the end of the day, if you're going to win by one, you got to win by 30 because the league is going to do what the league wants to do. You're going to have to fight the league. Some of these teams historically have fought leagues really hard and fought against adversity and said, nope, I don't give a fuck how bad you want the Lakers to win. The Pistons are going to win, right? We're going to sweep you in five.
yeah.
So,
You
yeah,
get like little upsets like that.
yeah, and that's where you know, like, okay, it's influenced, it's not scripted. There's the big difference, right? And it's the same thing we saw in wrestling. Okay, the Montreal Screwjob is the prime example. Okay, the way it was supposed to end on paper, the way that one guy intended it to end, and then the way that it was going to end like a fucking conspiracy, and then that's just how it goes, right? And for all that you aren't familiar with the Montreal Screwjob, Bret Hart is leaving the WWF. He's supposed to
Oh
drop
yeah,
the
the
belt.
Expos. Yeah, I
So
remember that.
well, he's supposed to drop the belt to Shawn Michaels. Well, that's the Montreal
Yeah.
Screwjob from there, but that it really came from wrestling.
Oh,
And Bret Hart was
oh,
supposed to drop the
I
belt in Montreal,
yeah.
right? And he's leaving for the WCW. Vince McMahon pulls him aside. And the only reason we know about this because at the time, Bret Hart had his own camera company following him around for a documentary about him and his career.
Yeah.
So he's wired up, goes into Vince's office right before this pay per view, and he's like, listen, dude, I'm not dropping the belt to Sean in Montreal. I know I'm leaving the company. I'll do it anywhere else but in Canada. I'm Canadian. It can't happen here. It's going to ruin my image, yada, yada, yada. Vince McMahon tells him, "Don't worry, don't worry. It's fine. It's fine. You're okay. I got it. This, that, the other." So they go out there. They have the match. The match is supposed to end with Bret Hart putting Shawn Michaels in the sharpshooter, winning the fucking championship, leaving. Nope. What happens is they get the reversal flip. Shawn Michaels puts him in the sharpshooter. Vince McMahon is out there at ringside telling the referee to ring the bell and call it, and they call it and give Brett the title. Brett stands up. He's pissed. He fucking spits a loogie at Vince's face. It's real. They break kayfabe. Till this day, some people say it's a work. But at the end of the day, Brett's pissed off, spits in his face, goes backstage, knocks Vince McMahon out for real in the locker room. And today, it's been like
Yeah.
when Fonzie jumped the shark, it's the Montreal Screwjob. And it's the reference that you can make where sports and say, okay, there is the way it's supposed to happen on the script, right? There's a way to influence and ensure that it happens the way you want it, and there's the way it should happen. And sometimes in these games, they just
Yeah.
let these games play out, right? Because it's exhausting. And then most of the time, they're going to come through and they're going to try to do it. If not, they're going to pull the old Montreal Screwjob on you if they can.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean, there's a lot of points throughout. We can debate on what's real and what's fake when it comes to sports, but there's plenty of moments. Like I just remember this last World Series. It just felt the Dodgers were playing so shitty, and you felt like the real romantic, cool thing would be like the Blue Jays winning their first one in over 30 years. But It just didn't happen that way. It just felt, it just fell apart.
Well, they
And
needed a
it just keep-
resurgent, man. They lost Hollywood with all
yeah,
the pedo weirdos. They needed the fucking
yep,
baseball. They're not gonna
yeah. They
get
needed the baseball.
basketball. They're not the fucking Lakers are not gonna win, and they're not gonna reward LeBron in his last year. So we can just X that out right there. Unless,
Yeah,
for some reason, and I don't see this happening, the Lakers trading and moving on from LeBron this year,
Yeah.
and then rewarding the Lakers with a title. But trust me, once LeBron leaves, something good is going to happen in LA.
Yeah, you never know. That'd be very funny, And then we could just go on about just have that discussion about the big three again. Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, all that stuff. Just what is LeBron's legacy compared to Jordan? What's his legacy compared to Kobe? What's all this stuff? And just go back and forth, and just like the quality of the opponents they faced. Michael Jordan's finals record. All that stuff going back and forth. But. That's just going to be a lot of stuff. So you see that a lot, in basketball. I know I'm kind of rambling here. You have to forgive me, but
What
it's just
do you think I'm doing?
fuck, man. We're just doing whatever. But yeah, you're going to see. I mean, eventually, it's kind of nauseating. I mean, just like seeing this shit and this the endless storylines around like LeBron and everything. And the same thing. I feel it's the same thing with like Shohei Ohtani, the MLB. It's the same thing with like Patrick Mahomes in the NFL. They're these guys that come along. It was Tom Brady for the longest time too. I know we talked about this before, but you just get sick of hearing about this kind of stuff after a while. You kind of wonder like how much of their success was really organic. Like there was a lot of things like Wayne Gretzky back really before. I wasn't. Wayne Gretzky had his zenith in like the 80s and the early 90s back before I was really familiar with hockey. But there's a lot of controversy surrounding him and how good he really was and how much the refs really liked him or tried to basically not call penalties on him and Marty
Well, and if you
McSorley
believe
and all
the
that kind of
story
stuff.
of him supposing to come here and his dad telling him not to because they already
Yeah.
have Gordie Howe, that's organic and real, like you
Yeah.
in hockey, right?
That's true.
His agent would say, "Oh, Wayne, that's a great place for you to go," because it would have been. It would have been a
Yeah.
great dude if Wayne Gretzky came here with Steve Yzerman and Sergei Fedorov and
Yep.
what the fuck? I don't know. That's 1997, 96 New York Yankees, 98 Yankees. Like that's
Yeah. Absolute murderer's row. I mean, if you
That's-
can use that term for hockey, but
that,
yeah, but
there's no way they don't lose a game. How do they lose a game?
yeah, that's a good. They would have probably held. I mean, they would have had a record like the Bruins had a couple of years ago, just like winning like 65 games in
Yeah.
a season.
They're
I
nuts.
mean, that would have been incredible, obviously, but yeah, this kind of stuff happens sometimes. With sports, it's just like the one thing. It's just for all the things that you think can be like romantic and can be like, a heartwarming story or just kind of an epic story or just like one of these things like fans will tell their kids about. There's lots of moments like that like throughout like Detroit history and every sports team. I mean, even some of the shitty sports franchises, they have stories for themselves just about like the great achievements they've had, and sometimes they get fucked over. Just like, I mean, look at like the Lions, like irrelevant for like 60 years, and now they're winning tons of football games and whatnot. But like that game like back in 2021, that was the year that was Dan Campbell's second year, and they chased Aaron Rodgers out of Green Bay and how like the storylines around that. But sometimes I mean they could have came back and won that game or something like that. I mean even if the Lions weren't going to the playoffs, they still ruined Green Bay's chances. But it's just like stuff like that happens, and it's all gravy. I know the Tigers never won a World Series during the 2010s, which is a pretty big definitely should have. But that's the thing. Remember the 2013 ALCS that hit. It was not David Bautista. That's another guy, but it was Big Papi, David Ortiz.
Yeah,
And he hit that over that green wall.
Torrey Hunter just
Torrey
flips
Hunter.
over.
You saw his legs poking out. You saw that fat Boston cop going like this, and you just knew that series was over. It was like the 2003
Done.
Bartman thing for the Cubs. It was
Done.
over. It was done. But that
Nail
was
in
the
the
year.
coffin.
That was the year of the Boston Bomber. Remember that shit? That marathon? That was some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
But it's just like all the storylines, all the positivity were going with the Red Sox that year. It was like Big Papi's final run or whatever. No, maybe a couple of years after that, but it was just one of those years
No,
like
you're
they
right.
had that team.
That was a team they turned into the Yankees, where it was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm so sick of hearing about Pedroia and Big Papi and
Yeah.
the Boston Red Sox. I got you. You started rooting, dude. I'm not even kidding you. When that happened, I started going into the Yankees legacy and watching old Yankees stuff and going, I kind of like these Yankees guys, right? Like,
Yeah.
I started to try to find some love into that team because I'm like, okay, the Yankees are the Yankees. They're unapologetically the Yankees, but the Boston Red Sox, this shit's annoying. Shit's just
Yeah,
annoying.
it does get annoying. And I remember, like, and the 2012 World Series, too, just the way we got manhandled by the San Francisco Giants and all the positive stories coming out from them. You know, Brian Wilson and Tim Lincecum and Buster Posey and Madison Bumgarner and all those guys. And how, you know, I mean, Detroit was just basically, I mean, yeah, you had Prince Fielder and Miguel Cabrera and stuff like that. But, you know, that was just, I remember that run that Prince Fielder, he gets like gunned down at third or whatever, and his big fat ass like flops back to the base. You just see Jim Leland going like,
What
but
the
you just know
fuck?
that was the moment. You know, I felt those moments just like Tigers just don't have that kind of cachet, you know, and it just makes me crazy. Some of the great teams we have, some of the freaking players we've had on these teams, but it's just like one of those teams. Like some teams just get all the romance, all the love, and some teams just don't. The Tigers, I just think, are kind of, I don't want to say they're cursed, because they have had some good seasons and they have, you know, had some good luck here and there. But, I mean, you just know, you feel that sometimes. Like, I remember.
They're not
like,
getting the push, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're not getting the push. They're not getting the push. The Tigers are just. But I remember after, like, the '09 finals for the Red Wings, watching that, we had Marian Hossa that year. He came over from the Penguins. That was probably the best Red Wings team of my lifetime. And they stormed their way to the finals. And they lost in 7 games, heartbreaking fashion. You know, the shot from Lidstrom goes into Fleury's glove, and that was the end of that. And then just after that, you know, Hossa left and a few other guys left, and you just had this feeling that it was just over for the Wings, and that their championship window is like closed. And they still had a couple decent seasons, but you know, they got chased out of the second round by the Sharks 2 years in a row.
That was like a 15-year-old window, though. That was open.
Yeah.
That window was so open for so long. That
The window was,
It felt okay, though. It felt natural. It felt organic. It was like, yeah, I guess this is. I mean, even the Yankees have their window closed a little bit, where there's a couple of years where they're not the best team in baseball, right? Because that's if you're an outsider hockey fan and you look at the Red Wings. You look at the Red Wings like we look at the Yankees, right? It's just, it's how it goes.
Yeah, it's just the thing. I mean, teams have their runs and then they just leave. You know, for the Patriots for a little while they looked like they were. I mean, that were the team, and then they did remember the Mac Jones experiment and how well that worked, and now they got Drake May and they're like 8-2 and they're like kicking ass now. So hey, maybe the Patriots story is being rewritten or something like that. But I mean, imagine being Drake May and stepping into fucking Tom Brady's shadow. That's fucking insane. But you see these storylines here and there. I mean, look at some other teams. Look at what Matthew Stafford's doing with the Rams. Look at his story after leaving the Lions. I mean, I love talking about this. Like, it is like romantic in a way. Maybe that's not the best way to put it, but you see this kind of stuff. It's like this magical kind of stuff happening.
They said wrestling was just a soap opera for men. Dude,
Yeah.
This is not any different. Sports, they did the football, the sports. It's all sports entertainment, right?
Yeah, it's entertainment, definitely.
But I got a question for you. Did you?
Yes.
Did you get Trump bucks today? Because someone in the comments said, "Man, I wish I was getting some Trump bucks. What a boss!"
I didn't see anything about that. I haven't checked my bank account. Maybe I did.
Did you get Trump bucks? Okay, I haven't got Trump bucks either.
I haven't.
So I was just curious.
I haven't gotten any. Not as far as I know. I'd like to think they would have told me about that, but I heard some rumors about that. I heard some speculation on Twitter, and we all know how trustworthy Twitter is. But it's like another dividend thing from the tariffs or something. I heard about that, but I don't know if that's gonna. Yeah,
stimulus?
that's what they said it was. And there's some kind of stimulus they had going on, just printing another $5 trillion. So
Go back to the gold standard, then you don't have to worry about any of this.
Yeah, what the hell was Nixon thinking back in the day?
I can tell you what Nixon was thinking. I can tell you what Nixon was thinking when he put together that hit team to kill Fidel Castro that ended up being used to kill John F. Kennedy. We could
Oh,
talk about what
Lord.
Nixon was thinking a lot. And when Nixon was
baby.
thinking, when they did Watergate on him, they were like, do you really want us to unofficially tie you to Kennedy, even though you didn't want him killed? But this kind of came from your crew. He's like, you know what? I'm out of here. You guys are nuts. Have fun with your military coup. What we tried to do with Eisenhower didn't work. See ya. And then Nixon. Then Nixon gave a bunch of weird interviews towards the end of his career where he just
Yeah.
sat down with guys and was like, "Yeah, LBJ was a fucking pimp. He was a thug." Yeah. So have fun in
baby.
hell, LBJ. You piece of
Have
shit.
fun in hell. Fuck you, LBJ.
Yeah.
You
fuck
son of a
you,
bitch.
LBJ.
Fuck you and your dick. You know, all
Yeah.
that stuff. All the stuff you want to talk. Your little Willie, whatever you called it.
Yeah. he
60s
was
are
awesome.
over, man.
The
but-
60s are dead, bro.
60s are over, and we lost, baby. But
We lost big time. All we got out of it was fucking Bozo the Clown and
Oh,
fucking
Lord.
Led Zeppelin and that was
the
it.
Beatles
The Beatles. Yeah, it's all right.
and Rolling Stones and all that good stuff. But I don't know how the hell we got on this topic. But
I can tell you.
I don't even know. We're just like rambling. We're talking about like sports betting, and then we're talking about how like romantic sports are, and just going over.
Well, 'cause,
we-
yeah, it's
we- look-
basically just the illusion of the Matrix, kayfabe, whatever you want to call it, the fourth wall being
all this
broken.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But did
exactly.
you really?
But
okay,
you know what?
Hear me out. Hear me out right now.
Do it.
Okay.
Hit
Did
me.
you realistically think Carl Winslow, a dad with 3 kids living in Chicago, could have afforded the house that he lived in on a cop salary with his wife barely working, maybe part time? There's no fucking way
I mean-
they're living in that house. And did you think
Then you say
Danny
that-
Tanner could have afforded that house in San Francisco?
San Francisco.
The Painted Ladies, one of the most classic neighborhoods, a single dad and 3 kids in that house. I don't give a shit if Uncle Jesse and Uncle Joey were paying rent. And if I don't care if it was the 90s, dude. That's just not realistic. Then
I
we
mean,
can
could've-
talk about Friends. How are they
Oh,
living
yeah.
in Greenwich Village?
In those huge ass apartments that like today would retail for like $50,000 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sake, it's just it's you could say that. Look at Al Bundy. I mean, he's a shoe salesman. Look at the size of his house. He has 2 kids and a wife, selling shoes for a living,
he
reliving
did
his
drive the
glory
Dodge.
days at Polk High. You know, I mean, we could talk about that stuff till the cows come. Look at the Simpsons. He's like a nuclear safety technician, but he's got 3 kids, a wife, 2 pets, 2 cars.
That makes the
And
most sense.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I think that was just, but it's just like, yeah.
It means we
I
have
think
fat
it's like
idiots
a.
at the helm of our nuclear power.
Oh yeah,
control.
I mean, it was just a parody of the real life. I mean, I think like Homer's incompetence, like yeah, it was a parody unto itself because you got to think like how really qualified are people that are overseeing like important things like our safety and our health and our military and whatnot. And you know, just like look at like the archetype of like the dumb man, the dumb male character or what have you, or the guy that's just kind of a Nimrod, but he just kind of lucks into winning over and over again somehow. He just keeps getting, you know, keeps living a comfortable life. He keeps like owning a big house, or he keeps making money at work or whatnot. And he just kind of like look at that trope, and you see it like in our own society. You see some of the stupidest people ever become like multi-millionaires, just like trip and fall into like wealth and
That's why I
notoriety.
think it's all by design. And apparently, we're supposed to be getting $2,000 each.
Yeah, I don't
For
know
Trump
if
bucks?
that's. Let me take a look at this $2,000 tariff dividend.
Dude, I want my money now.
Okay,
Call JG Wentworth, please.
JG Wentworth. Let's take a look. Hopefully the Hill
It's
doesn't
my
give me
money
a
and
fucking
I want it
paywall.
now.
Yeah,
But let me
Dude,
look
dude.
this up too.
I'm gonna look it up. Hold on one second.
Trump bucks.
I got it right here. Trump bucks. I remember
Oh,
that the Biden did this during the pandemic, didn't he? No, Trump. It was Trump that did that. Like
Is
towards the end
Trump
of his.
sending out money for tariff revenue? What
Tariff revenue.
$2,000 payment. Okay, here we go.
Screen.
CBS News. Yeah, you're reliable.
Okay.
A dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people, will be paid to. Who's considered high income?
Maybe is that over like 6 figures or something? Over the
better.
weekend, President Trump suggests that most Americans may receive at least $2,000 from the tariff revenue collected this year, which may have left you wondering if you fall into the category of most Americans. The comments made by Trump over the weekend, in which he suggested a dividend of $2,000 per share could be paid to everyone, have drawn mixed reviews. The White House hasn't released any firm plan on what the dividends could look like. The plan, which would require action from Congress, is expected to face roadblocks. Also possible the dividends don't come in the form of a check at all, with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying over the weekend that the dividend could come in lots of forms like tax decreases. And analysts of the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget suggested there may not be enough tariff revenue to fund this idea either. Nonetheless, Trump reiterated Monday that dividends of about $2,000 would be issued. While the full details of the payment of tariff dividends haven't been released, Trump has offered some insight into which Americans could receive a cut of tariff revenue. On Sundays, Trump suggested that the high-income people would not qualify for the payments. On Monday, he said dividends will be issued to our middle-income people and lower-income people. So is Trump writing a check with his mouth that his ass can't cash? Let's find out. Most likely, yes. Oh, we got some chatters. I think.
Oh yeah, that's where all this is coming from. You think I'm shooting from a hip?
Oh, yeah. Do. Hold on. Live stream chat. Oh, Curtis LeMay. Trade hitch to Canada from Curtis LeMay. This guy was commenting on my YouTube channel. What was I even? He said something about the Jews that made me uncomfortable. Hi, Curtis. Man, I wish I was getting some Trump bucks. What a boss. They said you guys could get 2,000 each. That's huge. That's from Odin's Aferatu. So thanks for showing up, guys. We appreciate it. Sorry I didn't notice your comments until right now, but yeah, that's what the Hill is saying. It sounds like some stuff's going on. I look at Twitter,
guys
but
like Hitch, I mean, they're not going to be getting this.
Yeah, Mr. Gross Point smoking cigarettes and drinking beer all day because he's got nothing better to do. Mr. fucking Scarcella. Who the hell does he think he is?
That's
He's
one
so fucking
thing.
loaded,
That's one
man.
habit I don't know how people keep up on anymore, and I had a hard time even rationalizing it. And now I'm glad I quit. But man, the cost of cigarettes is like, dude, you're almost.
Oh, it's
$15 a pack.
obscene. It's obscene.
Almost $15 a
You know,
pack.
I've been doing all this other stuff.
I was smoking
Yeah,
like a pack and a half a day.
Yeah, I was stretching that out. I got this zone thing going on now. That's like a nicotine
that.
pouch, and I got this thing for a while. This fume thing. It's you put like this core in there, this thing right here, and then you like suck on it. It gives you like, this is I think maple pepper flavored. So it's like $100 for this fucking thing, but it works all right.
And that one's no nicotine.
Well, this
right?
is
The
orange.
fume, it's just
I have a
just
bunch
flavored air.
of different ones. No nicotine. Yeah, it's supposed to be like essential oils or that. I read that somewhere, but I mean, still, it's you people worry about putting stuff in your lungs, but this is better than fucking God knows what's in a fucking cigarette.
Well, imagine the guy
that's
who's
good
making money on us.
stuff.
Or people buying flavored air.
Man.
Interesting.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Let me close these tabs out. This thing's bitching at me again.
Screaming at you, bogging down.
Shit. But oh yeah, it's just a little bit sometimes. Every time selective about what I do open, I got a bunch of stuff. My internet's not good, but oh lordy, so what do we got going on
for internet right now?
in the wide world of sports? I'm using T-Mobile 5G. I signed up for it when I moved back. I had it with my phone, and it works. It's good for your phone, but I think for the house it's a little lacking. It's a little slow sometimes, but I don't know. I mean, it's either that or I get like, I don't know if I want to foot the bill for like fiber or anything. I don't know if they offer fiber around here, but
yeah, they offer fiber now.
It gets the job done for the most part. Yeah. Okay.
We're not going to give them any advertisement bucks. Fuck them. They're not paying the bills.
No.
Yeah, I thought about hardwiring in my connection because
No,
I'll get glitchy sometimes. And with doing the lives after the games that are late at night, it's not a big deal. But man, I streamed one time by myself, and it was so glitchy. But it was the time, and I think I had the frame rates in Riverside set up too.
That happens. I mean,
too hard.
Yeah, I did a stream last night. I was just kind of messing around for like an hour, just talking about I was just looking at Twitter stuff and just reacting to stuff on Twitter. But that got a little from sometimes too, but for the most part, it was pretty smooth. I think I got my OBS set up, but offer that as pretty like paid content or something. If anybody wants to give me like 50 cents, they can watch me. They can watch me get my YouTube channel copyright struck because I'm playing a bunch of copyrighted material.
Yeah, I was gonna, have you had any luck with that
shit.
getting
Oh,
struck?
shit.
Because I played a couple copyrighted things and they flagged me, but it didn't flag me too hard.
They flagged me. I got this one thing. I did a conspiracy video about Pizzagate. I made a conspiracy video about it. Like 3 people watched it. It was like maybe 10, maybe it was between like 3 and 10 people watched it. Like nobody was watching it, but I think somebody reported me because I got like a content strike on that, and it lasted for a few months. It finally expired like a few weeks ago, but it was just this thing. I was just talking about Pizzagate and how like Adam Sandler was like related to it and whatnot. And Curtis LeMay says YouTube protects pedos, so I guess they did. But it was just like some stupid shit. I was just going over this stuff. I just, I did have a little brief, moment where I was posting conspiracy stuff. But I did get in trouble for it. YouTube got mad at me because I was basically implying some celebrities may have been involved in Pizzagate.
Which they have, and they were. I mean, just look at Podesta's laptop that tells you everything you need to know, John Podesta. But hey, that guy's probably going to.
I get copyright struck. Mm-hmm. I think I read some of those emails. Yeah. I might have read those emails on stream. I don't remember, but there's a bunch of stuff on there.
Oh, you're a little frozen there, Hermdo.
About Epstein and all that shit. I don't even know, but but I mean, my 600 followers will be very disappointed.
That's double what the fan forum is bringing. We're at 278.
If that happens,
and we lost.
Curtis,
we're at 279.
Yeah. You got a lot more views than I got, bro. You got a lot more views than I got. I'll tell you that much. Thanks to me, of course. But
yeah, seriously, dude, your hockey videos are killing it right now.
We've been streaming for more praise, please. I think I deserve it. But yeah, we've been streaming for almost an hour and a half. Did you have any other topics you wanted to bring up?
No, I actually need to go upstairs
as a
and
guest.
Get a little bit of food in me. I had some dental work done today, so
understandable.
Consisted of just water. So.
Yeah.
And then so that's about.
Yeah,
it,
I had like a bowl of oatmeal and
fun.
Yeah, no problem. No problem, man. I mean, anytime. We can do this anytime, but I think we had a pretty good episode here. Really enjoyed it. But anyways, if you're watching this, subscribe to Hermdo, subscribe to Detroit Fan Forum, subscribe to all that good stuff. Me and Mark bringing the sports updates to you, all sorts of fun stuff. You want to hear more discussions like this, definitely subscribe, hit that little bell icon, all that good stuff. But that's going to do it for us here at the Detroit Fan Forum. I'm Hermdo, and I'm signing out, and I'll talk to you guys later. Do you have any final thoughts, Mark?
My final thought.